Hello students, hope you all are fit and fine. Due to the present situation, as we are not able to interact each other physically, therefore we have started online classes so that we can remain updated with the syllabus. Today I am going to explain the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. Students, this poem will truly help you if you are dealing with hardships of life. Rudyard Kipling's poem If lists a set of conditions for the speaker's son to follow in order to become an ideal man. In the first line, you can see it is written, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. In the first if scenario, Kipling reminds the reader of the importance of maintaining a level head even when those around us do not have one, and of blaming the situation on us. In the third line, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. Here the speaker emphasizes two traits that all people must possess. One is self-trust and the ability to understand the thoughts and feelings of others, even if that means understanding that people will not always like or agree with you. And students, now you look at the second stanza. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim. Here Kipling urges his reader to dream and think, but not to get so caught up in dreams and thoughts that the reader loses his grasp on reality. Kipling uses personification in his next two lines. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. Here triumph and disasters are two impostors. The word impostor suggests a pretense or disguise. Perhaps he uses this word to showcase the fleeting nature of both. Success never stays, nor does disaster. So we should not give too much importance on either triumph or disaster because they will soon disappear. Students, now see the next fifth and sixth lines. If you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. Here the speaker tells us that we must have the patience to hear words spoken by us being twisted by dishonest and harmful people in order to serve their own agendas. He continues this thought in the last two lines of the stanza, writing, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. The speaker demonstrates in these lines the importance of being able to pick ourselves up and start again if we fail. We should always be prepared to start again, even if it takes all our life to attempt. In the third stanza and the final stanza, you can see, if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch. In the final stanza, the speaker tells his son he should treat all people, whether kings or commoners, with the same courtesy, and that moreover he should stay aloof, never getting too close to anyone. Then you can see the next two lines of the last stanza. If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. The poet further adds that true success can only be attained if one reaches such a point in life that neither friendly nor foes can cause hurt in a way that reduces one's productivity. Here Kipling is reminding us that it is important to be able to bounce back from disappointment or pain. One must not dwell on his enemies or the hurt a loved one may cause. Finally, the poet gives the reader his final piece of advice. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance, run. Here the speaker is telling the reader to never give up or waste even a single second of time. If you are given a minute, make sure you use all 60 seconds of it. If one is able to keep all of these things in check, one will have the world at one's fingertips. So students, hope the idea of this poem will help you to lead a satisfactory life, to remain balanced, and to face any problems in your life. Thank you.